Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a story that proves brains can absolutely triumph over brute force, even when you're facing down an alien monstrosity. Get ready, because this one is wild. Picture this. The ground shakes, massive iron doors slide open, and a chilling blue mist pours out from a giant cage. Inside stands a lone human, Elias Kane. No armor, no weapon, just standing there. Commander Arthok, a four-eyed alien warlord, narrows his gaze. "Why aren't you trembling, human?" he hisses, his voice like shattered glass echoing through the arena. Thousands of alien soldiers above are roaring for blood. The beast pit is alive tonight. Elias, a simple engineer from the old Terran fleet, captured and accused of spying, doesn't flinch. He just looks up, his eyes calm, steady. He's been thrown into a brutal alien trial. A fight to the death against a creature no human has ever survived. Behind Arthok, a monstrous Vraxian pet, taller than 10 men, roars, its scales like molten rock, fangs dripping acid. Chains rattle as it tries to break free, and the crowd screams louder, chanting Arthok's name. "See, human!" Arthok sneers, spreading his arms wide. "One word from me, and my pet will devour you." Elias stands perfectly still, his heartbeat a steady rhythm. The cold alien air brushes his face. "Then say it," he replies, his voice quiet but clear. The commander blinks, completely taken aback. No fear, no begging, just steady eyes staring straight into his. For a moment, the entire arena goes silent. Even the beast stops growling. Arthok steps closer, his long claws clicking on the metal floor. "You think bravery will save you, Terran? My pet has eaten entire squads of your kind." Elias tilts his head, a hint of something in his eyes. Then maybe it's full. A collective gasp sweeps through the crowd. Arthok freezes, his alien tendrils rising with fury. No one, not even his generals, had ever dared to speak to him like that. "You dare mock me?" he growls. "I just told the truth," Elias says, his voice even, almost gentle. Arthok's anger slowly shifts to a chilling amusement. "Very well," he growls. "Let us see how long your courage lasts." He turns to the guards. "Release it." The chains drop. The beast roars, shaking the air itself. Dust and heat blast through the pit as the monster charges forward, claws scraping against the steel. Its eyes glow like twin suns. A terrifying sight. Elias doesn't move. He watches it. Every step, every twitch of muscle. The creature lunges, but at the very last second, Elias rolls to the side. The beast's claws smash into the wall, sending sparks flying. The crowd screams in excitement, loving the show. Elias spots a metal rod on the ground, probably left from a previous fight, and grabs it, holding it like a spear. The beast turns, growling again, its acidic saliva burning the floor. Elias feels the heat, smells the acid, but his face remains calm. Arthok leans forward on his throne, clearly enjoying this. "Good. Make it slow, Vrax. Tear him apart." The beast lunges once more. Elias dodges, sliding under its belly and jabbing the rod upward. It doesn't pierce deep, but it's enough to make the creature howl in pain. The crowd roars in surprise. For a few moments, it's pure chaos. Growls, fire, metal clanging. Elias uses every bit of his quick thinking, every reflex honed from years of working with machines. He isn't the strongest, but he is undeniably smart. He notices something crucial. The Beast S collar has electronic control nodes, glowing red crystals connected directly to the Commander S wristband. If he could break that connection, maybe he could stop it. Suddenly, the beast swings its tail, knocking Elias down. Pain shoots through his side, and he coughs, struggling to breathe. Arthok laughs, a cruel, echoing sound. "Now you learn, human. Courage is nothing without power." Elias looks up at the commander, blood dripping from his lip. "You're right," he says, his voice quiet but razor-sharp. "Power isn't everything, sometimes it's control." As the beast roars again, Elias, with a surge of determination, throws the metal rod straight toward Arthok's control wristband. It hits perfectly. Sparks explode. The red lights on the beast collar flicker, and then die. The entire arena freezes. The Vraxian beast stops moving. It blinks, confused. The acid dripping from its jaws slows. It looks around, then back at Arthok, and lets out a low growl. Arthok's eyes widen in disbelief. No, obey me, he shouts, pressing the controls frantically. But the wristband is dead. The creature slowly turns its massive head toward him and takes a deliberate step forward. Arthok stumbles back in fear. The audience screams. Elias slowly stands up, breathing hard. His body aches, but a slow smile spreads across his face. Guess it's not your pet anymore, he says quietly. The beast lowers its head near him, sniffing. And instead of attacking, it lets out a low, soft growl, almost like a purr. The crowd goes completely silent. Elias reaches out a shaking hand and gently touches the creature's snout. Easy there, he whispers. You're free now. For the first time in the arena's brutal history, the beast doesn't kill its prey. It stands beside the human, calm, protective, as if it has chosen him. Arthok's face burns with fury and disbelief. Impossible. Elias looks up at him, his eyes cold but steady. Nothing's impossible for humans. The lights flicker. The crowd whispers, a growing murmur. Somewhere deep inside the alien fortress, alarms begin to sound. Something fundamental has changed here. And everyone, alien and human alike, can feel it. What an incredible story of wit, bravery, and unexpected alliances. It just goes to show you that sometimes the greatest strength isn't muscle or power, but the ability to think under pressure and find a different way. Imagine this: an arena, still shaking, where a terrifying alien beast, a weapon of pure destruction, now stands quietly beside a human. Its giant head rests near Elias Kane, almost like a loyal pet waiting for his next move. The alien crowd, absolutely silent. Thousands of eyes watching, torn between cheering or running for their lives. And Commander Arthok, the guy who owns this monster, he's frozen on his high platform, golden eyes wide with disbelief. For years, this beast obeyed only him, tearing apart anyone who dared to cross it. But now, it's loyal to a fragile human. Suddenly, Arthok snaps. "Kill him!" he roars, shattering the silence. Guards rush forward, weapons raised. But then, the beast lets out a deep, thunderous growl that shakes the very walls. Not a single guard dares to take another step. Elias, calm as ever, turns to the creature. "Stay calm, friend," he says softly. "Don't fight unless you must." And the beast unbelievably seems to understand. It lowers itself, a massive protective shield in front of Elias, blocking the soldier's aim. Arthok is fuming. "What kind of trick is this, Terran?" he spits. Elias just shrugs. "No trick. You used fear to control it. I used kindness." Kindness. That word was practically erased from the Zarn Dominion's language centuries ago. To them, mercy was weakness. The commander's jaw tightens. "Guards!" he barks again. "End this mockery." But still no one moves. The beast's burning eyes sweep over them, a silent challenge. The only sound is its deep, steady breathing and the faint hum of broken machinery. Elias glances around. Cameras everywhere. This whole thing is being broadcast live to the entire alien sector. Billions are watching. And for the first time, they're seeing a human not as prey or prisoner, but as something more. Arthok realizes it too. His authority, his entire image, is slipping away, second by second. If this footage gets out, the fear that holds his empire together might just crumble. With a furious slam of his clawed hand on the console, he cuts the live feed. Screens go dark. "Take them both," he screams. "Alive." A blast of energy explodes near Elias's feet as soldiers open fire. He ducks behind the beast's massive leg. The creature roars in pain and rage, its tail sweeping through a line of soldiers, sending them flying like broken dolls. Elias grabs a fallen alien rifle and dives behind a column. He doesn't want to kill anyone, but he can't die here. Not when something bigger is at stake. The beast fights like a force of nature, claws ripping through metal, roars echoing like thunder. But for every guard it takes down, more pour into the arena. Elias spots something above the commander's throne, a control node glowing with blue energy. It probably powers the cages and the entire arena's defense. If he can destroy it, maybe they can escape. He turns to the beast. I need a distraction. The creature tilts its head, then unleashes a deafening roar that shakes the ceiling. While guards focus fire on it, Elias sprints for the wall. Blaster shots sizzle past him as he leaps over debris, rolls under a falling gate, and climbs the support beams with trembling hands. At the top, he aims the rifle at the blue node. One breath, one pull of the trigger. Boom! The explosion lights up the entire arena, sparks raining down like fireflies. Alarms scream. The energy field flickers and dies. No! Arthok shouts, shielding his eyes. The beast, now free from its cage limits, bursts through, chains falling, shattered. For the first time in its life, it is truly free, roaring not in anger but in triumph. Elias slides down, landing hard. His leg screams, but he pushes through the pain. He looks at the creature. Time to go, buddy. The massive doors begin to open automatically. The power failure has unlocked them. Smoke fills the air. Human and beast run together side by side through the chaos. Behind them, Arthok screams in fury, "You will not escape me, human. You humiliated me. I will make you suffer." Elias stops at the exit, looking back. His face is bruised, but his eyes are calm and fearless. You already lost, Commander. You just don't see it yet. Then, he vanishes into the mist outside. Hours later, deep in the red canyons beyond the alien city, Elias and the beast rest under a shattered stone arch. The alien moonlight paints the world in silver and blue. The beast lies beside him, breathing softly like a sleeping mountain. Elias stares at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Terran fleet is still fighting, still surviving. He thinks of home, the blue oceans of Earth, the smell of rain, the laughter of his crew. He places a hand on the beast's rough hide. We'll find a way back, he whispers. Both of us. The creature opens one glowing eye and lets out a low rumble, as if it understands. Far away in the alien capital, Arthok watches the recorded footage again and again. Each time he sees the human's calm stare, something strange twists in his chest. It's not just anger anymore. It's fear, an emotion he had long forgotten. For the first time in his long reign, the mighty commander cannot sleep, because he knows this truth. If one human can do this, others will follow. What an incredible story of courage, kindness, and unexpected alliances. Imagine this. The alien dawn cracks over a desolate desert on a planet called Zarn 5. Broken cliffs, dark canyons, and a wind that howls like a hungry beast, carrying the scent of dust and iron. This is where we meet Elias Kane. He's standing on a cliff edge, watching the sky blaze gold, and beside him, a massive, Vraxian beast, newly freed, breathing heavy like a slow ancient drum. These two, a human and an alien creature, have just escaped an arena where they were meant to die. But escaping the arena? That was just the beginning. Elias looks at his unlikely companion, this beast he started calling Ro. Its scales shimmer under the rising sun. "We can't stay here," he whispers. "Arthok will send hunters. They'll never stop." Ro, as if understanding every word, tilts its giant head, grumbles softly, and lowers itself so Elias can climb on. Together, they vanish into the canyon shadows, leaving behind a city that tried to kill them both. Meanwhile, back in the capital, chaos is spreading like wildfire. The footage of Elias taming the commander's beast in the arena has leaked across the Dominion. A human who defied death with courage, who tamed the untamable. Arthok, the tyrant who rules this sector, is absolutely furious. He smashes monitors, roaring, "Find him! I want his coordinates, his scent, his heartbeat. Bring me his head." His generals trembling report energy bursts in the southern canyons. Arthok's golden eyes glow with dark intent. "Send the Drax hunters," he snarls. "I want the human alive. I will tear his secrets from his mind." The chase is officially on. By noon, Elias and Ro are deep in the canyon. And then, a miracle. Hidden among the rocks, Elias finds the remains of an old Terran escape pod, rusted and half-buried. The symbol of Earth's fleet, barely visible, gives him a surge of hope. He pries open the hatch, coughing as stale air hisses out. Inside, a cracked visor, power cells, and a transmitter core. "Maybe we still have a chance," he murmurs, a faint smile on his dust-caked face. With his engineer's mind working overtime, Elias starts repairing the transmitter, using scavenged parts and alien tech. Ro stands guard, rumbling whenever a strange sound echoes from the distance. Elias works, talking to Ro, or maybe just to himself. "Humans were never meant to survive out here," he muses. "But we always find a way, don't we?" Ro blinks its molten eyes and lets out a low, warm growl, a perfect reply. By nightfall, the desert wind turns cold. Elias adjusts the transmitter, powering it with a salvaged crystal. The signal blinks, weak but real. He sets it to Terran fleet channels. "This is Elias Kane," he whispers into the static. "Survivor of Outpost Delta 9. I'm alive. And I'm not alone." The signal buzzes, then fades. He tries again. Nothing. He sighs, rubbing his face. "At least I tried." Then, faintly, a voice crackles through the static. "Kane? Is that you?" Elias freezes. "Yes, it's me. I'm on Zarn 5. I have important information and a friend." The voice, weak but excited, says, "Stay where you are. We're tracking your signal. Hang on." Elias looks at Ro, a wide grin spreading across his face. "They heard us." But high above, unseen, the Drax hunters have already locked onto their location. The next morning, the canyon erupts. Energy bolts blast against the rocks. Ro roars, covering Elias with its massive body. Elias grabs his rifle and ducks. Dozens of alien hunters, sleek armor, glowing rifles, tracking drones surround them. Their leader shouts, "Surrender, human. The commander wishes to see you again." Elias fires back, hitting a drone. "Tell your commander I'm busy," he yells. Ro charges, smashing rocks, knocking out 2 soldiers with a single sweep of its tail. Elias, moving fast, disables their signal jammer. He lobs a power cell into the air, shoots it, and the explosion creates a smokescreen. "Come on, Ro," he shouts. The beast leaps over a ridge, carrying him up the slope, shots flying past like burning rain. They reach the top, but a plasma net ensnares Ro's leg. The beast roars in pain, stumbling. Elias, burning his hands, cuts the net's wires with a shard of metal. Sparks fly, but he doesn't stop until Ro is free. He turns to the hunters, dust and blood on his face. "You really think you can scare me after everything I've seen?" He grabs a dropped rifle, fires a single precise shot, hitting their banner, which explodes, scattering them into chaos. "Let's move," Ro roars, crushing a drone, then leaps across a ravine, disappearing into the mist, leaving the hunters bewildered. Hours later, Elias looks up at the stars. The Terran fleet might be coming, but he knows Arthok won't stop. The chase has only begun. He touches Ro's scarred hide. "They call me prey," he whispers. "But from now on, we hunt." Ro's eyes glow in answer, bright as fire under the cold alien night. Imagine this: the red sun dipping behind shattered cliffs on a desolate planet called Zarn 5. Elias Kane, a human, is on the run, hunted relentlessly. His only companion? A massive, formidable creature named Ro, a beast that could crush him in an instant, yet curls protectively by his side like a loyal dog. For 2 nights they've been dodging alien drones, the scent of burned metal and dust hanging heavy in the air. Elias's dreams are haunted by the arena, by the furious face of Commander Arthok, but also by a faint signal, a whisper of hope that humans are still out there listening. One night, Ro lets out an uneasy growl. Elias knows instantly. Alien patrols. Time to move. He douses their small fire, packs his salvaged gear, and whispers to Ro, "We can't stay." Together they vanish into the narrow canyons. Elias's damaged rifle his only solace, his legs aching, but his will unbreakable. He isn't just running, he's planning. Meanwhile, something impossible is happening across the Dominion. Despite all of Arthok's efforts to suppress it, the story of the arena has spread like wildfire. Workers in the mines whisper, pilots encrypt messages between ships, and one sentence begins to echo through every communication channel. The human is alive. He tamed the beast. To the enslaved species, it's not just a rumor. It's a living, breathing spark of hope. Back in the capital, Commander Arthok is livid. He slams his claws on the table in his war chamber, staring at a holographic map. This human, he seethes, has done what even our scientists could not. He made a Vrax obey without control crystals. When a younger officer tries to mention unrest in the mines, Arthok roars, "Silence! I will crush this rebellion. Find him. Bring me his body or bring me his screams." But Elias and Ro are already a step ahead. They stumble upon an abandoned Terran outpost, a relic from forgotten wars. Dust chokes the air, but inside, a faint light flickers. Elias, with a surge of hope, tinkers for hours with a broken terminal. The screens flicker to life, revealing old data logs, maps, and, crucially, energy cells. But then something catches his eye. A message marked, "Classified Terran Resistance Node 12. He opens it, and a woman's voice crackles through the static. "If you're hearing this, we're still out there. We never gave up. Keep fighting." A faint smile touches Elias's lips. Guess I'm not alone after all. He immediately begins composing a new message using old military codes. "This is Elias Kane. Location, Zarn 5 Sector 12. I've got intelligence and something powerful, requesting extraction." He sends it, then leans back, Ro rumbling softly beside him. "Yeah, buddy," Elias says. "Things are about to change." The very next morning, a shadow passes over the canyon. A small, scarred human craft descends, bearing the familiar Terran emblem. Elias runs out, waving wildly. The hatch opens, and out steps Captain Lyra Vance, tall, dark-haired, her eyes widening when she sees Ro. "By the stars," she whispers. "You weren't kidding." Elias grins. "Meet Ro, don't worry, he's friendly, mostly." Lyra smiles back. "You've caused quite a storm, Kane. The whole Dominion's trembling." Elias's reply, "Good. Then let's make it worse." They board the ship, Ro somehow squeezing its massive frame into the cargo hold, and blast off into the smoky red sky. Inside, Lyra shows Elias a holographic map. "Your broadcast reached more than you know. Slaves, soldiers, even some alien scientists. They've begun to rise up. They're calling it the human effect. They believe courage is contagious." Elias stares at the map, seeing countless dots of light, like fireflies igniting in the dark. "And Arthok?" he asks. "Raging," Lyra confirms. "He's hunting everyone connected to your signal. That's why we need to strike first." Elias nods slowly. "Then we'll give him something to fear." Lyra looks at him, almost asking, "You mean?" Elias's response is firm. "Yes, we fight back." Later that night, the ship lands at a hidden resistance base. Elias steps out to a sight that stirs his soul. Hundreds of beings, humans, aliens, hybrids, all working together. Some look afraid, others inspired. They've all heard the story of the human who faced the beast. A young alien child runs up to him, eyes wide with wonder. "You're the one who made the monster your friend?" Elias smiles softly. "He's not a monster. He just needed someone to see him differently." The child's eyes glow. "Then maybe we're not monsters either." In that moment, Elias feels an overwhelming surge of hope. He looks at Lyra. "We start the rebellion now. Arthok wanted fear. Let's give him unity instead." And across the Dominion, Small acts of defiance begin to grow. Guards refusing cruel orders, engineers sabotaging control towers, slaves rising in secret. In the heart of it all, one human stands between a loyal beast and a broken empire, ready to fight for a brighter future. Imagine a galaxy where an entire dominion lives under the iron fist of fear. Explosions light up the horizon, the air crackles with tension, and everywhere slaves are breaking their chains, soldiers are throwing down their weapons. Why? Because one name echoes through every city, every hidden rebel cell. Elias Kane. This isn't your average hero. He's at the heart of a hidden command room, surrounded by a motley crew of alien and human rebels. Maps flicker, holographic screens display their enemy's stronghold, the capital fortress, a monstrosity of energy and fire, topped by the tyrannical commander Arthok. The pressure is immense. Captain Lyra Vance, sharp and steady, warns Elias that Arthok's fleet is gathering. "If we wait," she says, "they'll crush every last bit of resistance." But Elias? His eyes are cold, calm, and resolute. "Then we don't wait. We end it tonight." The room falls silent. An alien engineer nervously asks, "You mean, storm the fortress?" Elias's answer is a defiant roar. "Yes, we hit their heart. We take the throne." This isn't just a plan. It's a declaration of war against oppression itself. Outside, the skies rumble as rebel ships lift off from hidden caves. And then you see him. Ro, the magnificent Vraxian beast, armored in scavenged plating, glowing with blue symbols of resistance, lets out a mighty roar. Elias, with his pulse rifle and resistance badge, climbs onto Ro's back. Lyra from her ship gives him a knowing nod, her voice firm through the comms. "If you fall, the rebellion falls with you." Elias just smiles faintly, his gaze fixed on the fortress. "Then I won't fall." And with that, Ro leaps and the final battle for freedom begins. The capital fortress looms like an unholy mountain of metal, guarded by light beam towers and swarming with enemy ships. But the rebels? They hit like a storm. Fighters dive through the clouds, dropping EMP bombs that burst in brilliant electric waves. Elias and Ro are at the forefront, tearing through defenses. Alien soldiers scatter as Ro crushes tanks and smashes through walls. Every roar from the beast is answered by cheers over the rebel radio. "Sector East secure. Prison gates open. Civilians escaping through the tunnels." Each voice is bursting with hope and defiance, fueling the revolution. Meanwhile, inside his throne chamber, Arthok watches the chaos, his eyes burning with pure fury. "How dare they rise against me?" he hisses. "How dare one human destroy centuries of fear?" He demands his armor, vowing to end this with his own claws. But Elias, relentless, reaches the main gate. It's sealed by a massive shield of dark purple energy. Blasting through is impossible. This is where Elias's ingenuity shines. He connects his old Terran wristband to the alien system, remembering a trick from outpost files. Shared access nodes. Sparks fly, code flashes, and with a whispered "Come on, come on," the gate lights flicker, then turn green. The shield collapses. Ro charges into the fortress like a living storm, smashing through enemy ranks. Inside, alarms scream, smoke fills the air, and Elias moves through corridors where alien banners, symbols of domination, are now burning away. Finally, they reach the throne chamber. Arthok stands there, armored in obsidian, his golden eyes blazing with hate. So, the brave little human finally comes to die. Elias dismounts, meeting his gaze. "No, I came to end what you started." Arthok laughs, a cruel, mocking sound proclaiming that fear will always return. But Elias shakes his head. "Maybe, but not today." The commander lunges, claws slashing. Elias rolls, fires his rifle, but plasma bolts can't pierce the armor. Arthok grabs Elias, throws him across the room, the impact exploding with pain. "You are nothing," Arthok roars. "A weak, soft creature pretending to be strong." Elias coughs, blood on his lip, but then delivers a line that defines true courage. "You're wrong. Humans aren't strong because we're fearless. We're strong because we keep going even when we are afraid. He aims his rifle not at Arthok but at the ceiling above. He fires. Support beams shatter, dropping heavy debris onto the commander. Arthok roars, trapped, his armor cracking. Elias limps forward. You built an empire on fear, but fear ends where courage begins. Ro appears behind him, growling. Arthok looks up, wide-eyed, realizing his end is near. Ro slams its tail, shattering the floor. Elias, turning away, speaks softly to his companion. Enough. We don't kill for revenge. He kneels beside the fallen commander. You called us weak, but today, you learned what real strength looks like. Outside, the fortress alarms fall silent. Rebel voices flood the comms. The walls are down. The city is free. Elias presses his badge, sending one clear message across the entire Dominion. The tyrant has fallen. The rebellion stands united. Cheers erupt across 1,000 worlds. Looking up through the broken ceiling at the stars, Elias whispers, "It's over." But he knows deep down this is just the beginning. Freedom isn't given. It's built, one act of courage at a time. Ro nudges him gently and Elias smiles. Yeah, we did it. Imagine a world where hope seemed lost, under the shadow of a terrifying empire. But sometimes, it only takes one spark to ignite a revolution. The fortress of Zarn 5, once a symbol of oppression, now stood silent, smoke drifting from its broken towers. The red sky, which once reflected the Dominion's reign of fear, now glowed with the soft light of sunrise. The long night, finally over. Elias Kane, a name that will echo through the stars, stood on the upper balcony. Below him, cheers erupted, human and alien voices rising as one. Beside him, Captain Lyra Vance, her uniform torn but her eyes bright with pride, looked out at the awakened city. You did it, she said, her voice filled with awe. Elias, ever humble, corrected her. No, Lyra, we did it. Every single soul who refused to bow, every creature who chose freedom over fear. And there, near them, was Ro, the mighty Vraxian beast. Once a terrifying monster, now a serene symbol of unity, its golden eyes calmly watching the celebratory crowd. It was a sight no one could have predicted. Hours later, the Great Hall, once a commander's lair, became a beacon of democracy. Tables built from salvaged armor, lights flickering weakly from repurposed reactors. Delegates from countless species filled the room. Humans, blue-skinned miners, wise insectoid scholars, agile reptilian pilots, and even a few Vraxians, respectfully bowing to Ro. Lyra took center stage, her voice clear and strong. We cannot rebuild what was destroyed by fear. We must build something entirely new, together. An old alien elder, his scales shimmering, leaned forward. The Dominion ruled through control. If we are to replace it, we must learn to trust. Elias nodded, his gaze sweeping across the diverse faces. Trust is harder than war, he admitted, but it is far stronger when earned. Humans started this rebellion, he clarified. But this isn't about humans leading. It's about everyone standing side by side. The hall fell silent. Then, slowly, one by one, each representative nodded. And just like that, in the ruins of Zarn 5, the first council of the Free Worlds Alliance was formed. A true testament to what unity can achieve. Later that night, the city hummed with new life. Fires burned low. Machines hummed. Laughter echoed. Elias walked alone. Ro, massive but silent, beside him. You know, he murmured to the beast. When I first saw you in that cage, I thought I was looking at death. But maybe, I was looking at the start of everything new. Ro responded with a low rumble, a sound that was neither growl nor purr but something else entirely. Elias smiled. Yeah, I'll take that as a yes. Meanwhile, in the command chamber, Lyra and her team were scrambling to restore communications. A tech shouted, Captain, faint Terran signals from deep space, survivors of the fleet. Lyra's eyes lit up, tears welling. Patch them through. A voice crackled through the static. This is Terran Command, Outpost Delta. We received your broadcast. Is it true? Has the Dominion fallen? Lyra, beaming, looked towards Elias. It's true, she choked out. The human who started it is standing right here, and he's not alone anymore. The next morning, under the open sky, the new alliance gathered again. The people of Zarn 5 filled the plaza, eager to hear from the man who had dared to defy an empire. Elias stepped onto the balcony, his voice echoing through the ruins. Years ago, they told us humans were weak. They said we couldn't survive without orders, without fear. But fear is not strength. Control is not peace. Today, every one of you proved that courage and kindness are stronger than chains. He paused, looking at the thousands below. We are not perfect. We will make mistakes. But today we start again, not as slaves, not as rulers, but as builders of a better sky. The crowd erupted. Some shouted his name, others shouted a new phrase already spreading through the systems. Humanity first, for everyone. Ro lifted its head and roared, a sound that shook the air, not of war but of unbridled hope. But far beyond the horizon, in the dark void of space, something stirred. On a forgotten moon, an automated station flickered to life. Red lights blinked on ancient machines. A cold, mechanical voice echoed, Commander Arthok, signal lost. Primary directive failure. Initiating Phase 2, Project Rebirth. Dozens of metallic eyes glowed red in the dark. Back on Zarn 5, Elias watched the sunrise. Do you ever think it's really over? Lyra asked him quietly. He shook his head. Freedom is never over, Lyra. It's something you fight for every single day. Lyra smiled. Then I guess our fight continues. Elias looked toward the stars. Let it come. We'll face whatever's next. Together. Ro rumbled in agreement. We built something worth protecting, Elias whispered, resting his hand on Ro's warm scales. And we'll protect it, no matter what rises next. The first rays of dawn painted the ruins gold. For the first time, Zarn 5 looked like a world reborn. The stars above Zarn 5 shimmered, but there was an unsettling calm in the air. The war was over, cities rebuilt, and the people sang songs of freedom. But deep in the silent void between worlds, something unseen began to stir. Far beyond the outer rim, in an abandoned Dominion moon station, forgotten red lights flickered to life. Dust danced in zero gravity as ancient machines whirred awake. A chilling robotic voice echoed through the darkness. Commander Arthok, terminated. Authority void. Initiating Project Rebirth. Rows of metal pods hissed open, revealing a terrifying new kind of being. Part flesh, part machine, grown from Arthok's DNA, fused with the Dominion's most advanced war AI. Their eyes glowed crimson. They didn't scream. They simply out-activated. And above them, a monstrous figure took form in a tank of dark liquid, the reborn mind of Arthok himself. The human showed them freedom, the voice declared coldly. Now we will show them perfection. Chilling, right? Back on Zarn 5, the morning was peaceful. Children played. Banners of the new Free Worlds Alliance fluttered. Elias Kane, our hero, watched from his fortress balcony, finally feeling a quiet he hadn't known in years. Captain Lyra Vance joined him. Almost feels like peace, he murmured. Lyra, ever the pragmatist, replied, Almost. You don't trust it either, do you? Elias offered a grim smile. Peace is like glass, beautiful but easy to break. Suddenly, Lyra's comm buzzed. Captain, urgent signal. Sector 12. Unknown ships appearing on scanners. Elias's smile vanished. How many? The voice crackled back. Too many. Ro, Elias's massive beast companion, growled softly, sensing the danger. Wake the defenses, Elias commanded. Get the fleet in the air, and someone tell me what's coming. Minutes later, the skies above Zarn 5 turned black. A new fleet, dark metal, glowing red, descended like a storm. Each ship bore the Dominion crest but altered, sharper, colder. The first blast tore through the city outskirts. Towers fell. The crowd screamed. Elias sprinted into the command room, shouting, All units to battle positions. Evacuate the civilians. Lyra's fingers flew across the controls. Their energy signatures matched Dominion tech, but stronger. And, Elias, there's something else. What? Their leader's signal ID. It's Arthok. Elias froze. That's impossible. He's dead. Lyra turned the screen, and there he was. Arthok's face, half machine, half alive, his golden eyes replaced with burning red light. You thought you could kill me, human. The metallic voice boomed through every communicator. But I am more than flesh. I am evolution. Elias gritted his teeth. He rebuilt himself. Ro roared, shaking the fortress. Then we end him again, Elias declared. This time, for good. The battle for Zarn 5 had begun. The free world's fleet soared into the sky, engines blazing blue against the black storm. Human and alien pilots fought side by side, dodging plasma fire. Ground troops took positions. Ro charged through the streets, smashing enemy drones that swarmed from the ships like metal insects. Elias fought on the front lines, his armor cracked, his rifle glowing red-hot. He moved with purpose, not rage, not fear, but fierce determination. Keep them away from the power cores, he yelled. If they breach the main reactor, the whole city goes. Lyra's voice cut through the comms. Elias, I've located their command ship, the Rebirth Core. That's where he is. Then that's where I'm going. He climbed onto Ro's back. The beast roared, spreading its new, modified wings, soaring through fire and smoke, straight for the heart of the enemy fleet. Inside the Rebirth Core, Arthok stood amidst wires and glowing tanks. His new body shimmered with energy, his voice thundering. You cannot destroy progress, human. You are the past. Elias burst through the hull, landing hard. Sparks flew around him. Then let the past fight back. They clashed, man against machine, freedom against control. Arthok's metal arm swung with impossible strength, throwing Elias across the deck. But Elias got up again, every breath sharp with pain. You call this evolution? He said, aiming his rifle. You're just afraid to die. Arthok roared, firing a burst of energy. Elias ducked, rolling behind a console. The control core hummed beside him, the very brain of the new Dominion. He looked up at Ro, still fighting drones outside, and shouted, Now! Ro smashed through the wall, fire blazing behind it, knocking Arthok off balance. Elias grabbed a power conduit and jammed it straight into the control core. Electric light flooded the room. The ship screamed as systems overloaded. Arthok reached toward him, sparks flying. You think destroying me will save you? He hissed. Elias met his gaze. No. But it'll save them. He pulled the trigger on his rifle, firing into the power core. The explosion swallowed the room in light. Moments later, silence. The Rebirth Core broke apart in orbit, scattering burning fragments across the dawn sky. Below, the enemy fleet fell quiet, drones crashing, ships shutting down, red lights fading. Lyra watched from the command post, tears in her eyes. He did it. Then a shadow appeared above the smoke. Ro, wings torn but alive. On its back, Elias, bruised and bloodied, clutching his badge. The crowd below erupted in cheers. The sky, once dark, now glowed with soft blue light as the sun rose over Zarn 5 again. Elias looked down at the people, humans, aliens, children, all free because they had dared to believe. He turned to Ro. We won, again. Ro rumbled softly. Elias smiled weakly. Guess it's time to finally rest. He looked toward the horizon where light met the stars. The galaxy is free now. Let's make sure it stays that way. The wind blew gently through the ruins, not as a cry of war, but as a whisper of peace. What an incredible story of resilience and courage. If this epic tale got your heart racing, make sure to smash that like button, share,